Go right into our meeting now. I will review the agenda. We'll have previous minutes, student and school presentations, parent groups, open to the public, 3 minutes per speaker for no longer than 60 minutes. We'll have our superintendent's report, our correspondence and board comments. We'll have the personnel agenda, the consent agenda. We also have an addendum, and then we will have a proposed executive session, and lastly, we'll adjourn the meeting. May I have a motion for previous minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of the previous regular meeting held on Monday, June 9th.
Second. Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Do we have any student or school presentations tonight? Mike, there were some questions. I'm sorry. Just off the top of my head. There were some questions during the hearing earlier regarding the posting and the 30 days.
Yeah.
Could you shed some light on that topic?
Sure. As I was listening to those comments, I went and actually checked the regulation to see what the notice requirements were for the public hearing. And the regulations are set forth at 155.17E3 of the Commissioner's regulations. And what they say is each board shall make each district-wide and building-level safety plan available for public comment at least 30 days prior to its adoption. There's a second requirement that says such district-wide and building-level plans may be adopted by the school board only after at least one public hearing. So there is a 30-day requirement for notice, but it's not the public hearing notice timeline. It's the timeline in which the plan needs to be available for the public to look at it and to comment. There isn't a specific time period in which the notice of the public hearing needs to be provided. In those cases when there are no specific timelines, we use a general rule of 5 days notice of the public hearing on the whatever the subject of the public hearing is. So to the extent that there was a suggestion that there was a 30-day notice requirement for the public hearing, I didn't want the board to be operating under the mistaken belief that that was in fact the status of the law.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, do we have any parent groups tonight? Open to the public. Who would like to speak?
Jan Stark, taxpayer. Good evening, everybody. I see on your addendum about Dr. Walkley for consulting services and such. That you have an addendum on that. It's nice to see they should be coming back to work and help in the district. I find that a very positive move. And also from a personal note, I know he's left the building, unless he's still having more cake down there. But I've had the opportunity this past school year on a number of occasions to substitute at Sargent Avenue School. And I have to say that it is truly going to be a loss for our district that Ms. Chang has decided to move on to another district as principal. He's done, from what I've been able to observe and seen, he holds the respect of the parents and the teachers. The kids absolutely adore him. Today, a couple of the teachers organized a flash mob out on the playground for him, just as a sign of their affection for him and the fact that he's going to be leaving and that he will be missed. From what I've been able to see, he's been a really positive educational leader at that building, and it's definitely one of our losses, again, to lose a good administrator.
Who would else like to speak?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just want to, on behalf of the Beacon Teachers Association, I would just like to congratulate our our tenure recipients and our retirees for all of their accomplishments and their great service for the retirees and for the incoming folks, long-lasting career to our tenure recipients. I would also like to take a moment to thank Mr. Larry Cohen for his service as a board member to the district. Having been at many of the meetings, I know the kind of support that you have for the district, Larry, and I want to say thank you. And also to Mrs. Betsy Dennis for her service and dedication to the board. So you'll be missed. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, Dennis.
Just have a couple of questions. Dennis Pavlok, Beacon resident. So, are we paying Miss Walkley yet? And are we still paying Mr. Brian Tim still?
We had, you might recall, because you come to our meetings quite regularly, there was, back in the fall, a contract that we signed to have Ms. Walkley come in and do some days in the district.
Okay. All right. And I too want to thank the people with the board service, Mr. Cohen, Jennifer Edge, Betsy Dennis, for their dedicated service to the youth of this district and the young adults. So thank you once again, and the retirees as well. I know a few of them. I know a teacher that has just, I think, received tenure, Caitlin Morrison. I was her baseball T-ball coach in 1997. We won the championship. Yeah. She was very good at what she did too, softball. So let me tell you that, folks. Let me begin with the. I didn't get a chance to mention this at our last meeting, but I'll talk about one more time about my July 4th event that I have going on at City Hall. July 4th, 11 o'clock in the morning. We are reading the Declaration of Independence. And this year we have somebody singing the national anthem. This year we had an essay event. I want to thank Dr. Dorwood for allowing me to have the essay contest in the district. Next year we're going to go to Glenham and we're going to follow every school from there. But this year's winner of our essay contest, and what July 4th means to me, is Beyonce Otero. She's a 5th grader at Forest Elementary School. If anybody wants to come down to see her read that live and in person, it's July 4th, 11 o'clock, City Hall in Beacon, 1 Municipal Plaza. I will be in costume. Wow. My other comment, and I will follow up on this until I'm satisfied with asking questions. I understand we had a lockdown drill here June 13th. And or a lockout drill June 13th. Not a drill, but it was a something that happened here. And speaking with some youth that experienced that episode, or whatever you want to call it, I understood it was complete mayhem. Complete mayhem. Nobody knew what they were doing. However, this is why we practice Project SAVE, to get better. After that drill down in Westchester I did about 4 years ago, they all went back to the firehouses and they said, what can we do better next time? How can we improve the drill next time? What can we do more that makes people aware that any point in given time, anything can happen to a school district? And we saw that ugliness in Sandy Hook just years ago. So If you don't know and don't believe, I will be talking to some of the youth that were involved in that lockdown and/or lockout drill, and I will come back with more information to you. From the youth's perspective. So once again, hope to see you July 4th. If you can make it, come on down.
So I do want to comment on that. Certainly, I want to continue to look into it. It has not been reported to me that drill happened in that way, but what I would agree with the statement that you made, that part of the reason we do the drills is if things aren't going the way they need to go, we learn from it. And I can say from firsthand knowledge that Dr. Sieverding does a nice job. If there's things that don't go exactly as planned, they learn from it and improve on it the next time they do the drill.
Dr. Sieverding, do you have a comment you'd like to make? Because,
Yeah, I would.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to give you the facts. Because what Mr. Pavlik is talking about, I don't know what he's talking about. I want to commend 3 of our students for coming forward to the administration. As you well know, this Twitter, this tweet, and all the social media stuff that is out there has created havoc in many of our school districts. And the students came to us to say that they received a tweet on their cell phone about an incident that was going to happen in a school, not Beacon High School, but in a school, and they did not know where it came from. We questioned them. They worked with us. They didn't have it anymore on their cell phones. This happened like 15 minutes before dismissal. I just want to remind you about that too. They came back into the building after we dismissed our students. And one of them found the tweet on their phone. And working with the City of Beacon Police Department, Detective Piacente and Williams, and I want to commend them because we worked well into the evening, and the FBI identified the kid who sent this tweet out, which appeared on some of our students' phones, identified the student who goes to a high school in another state, not Beacon High School. He was a former student here and transferred out of state. We alerted that high school in the other state, and that night the police department of that particular state went and found this student and dealt with it. I called the principal of that high school the following morning, and he thanked us because they found the kid who did it. He fessed up that he sent this out, and when the principal said, "Thank you for identifying this because there could have been a tragedy there." So I don't know what lockdown, lockout you're talking about. We did have extra police presence. We did send out a Connect Ed message to all parents, and we explained to them that early that evening there was no need to send it out because we didn't know where this came from. It could be anybody, and we did not want to set up a panic. But then it got out. I sent a Connect Ed message out. Other schools were warned. So to say that it was complete mayhem, that's absolutely false.
And my apologies. I thought he was talking about one of your lockout drills. I didn't realize he was referring to that event.
What were you talking about?
What happened June 13th? Whatever happened here
Yeah.
June 13th?
Okay.
That was it?
No,
That
I'm sorry.
was it.
I thought he was talking about the lockout drill.
No, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sieverding. Do we have any other comments tonight? Bring your superintendent's report.
Yes, just a quick update. As everybody knows, we're going through the hiring process for the elementary principal in Sargent, and then also for the assistant superintendent. We were hoping to proceed to the next step in the principal review process for this Wednesday. I've asked Ms. Walkley to take over that interview process, and we made the decision to delay for the time being. So I know that the community, so the committee members are going to be involved, but I did want you to know that we're temporarily postponing the interviews. That's it.
Do we have any board comments tonight?
I do. I mean, I don't know if other people would like to go first, but... Okay. Well, I wanted to say my thanks and goodbyes to our fellow board members who are leaving. I'll start off with Ms. Betsy Dennis, who unfortunately is not here to hear it, but hopefully she'll watch the recording. Yeah. I want to thank Betsy for putting in her 3 years of service. It's not an easy decision to run for the board. I think everybody's always a little worried when they first decide to do it. What does it mean to run for the board? What are your responsibilities? How much time are you going to have to put in? Betsy did a great job. Her experience being a special ed teacher, I thought worked really well. It gave her a certain amount of ability to understand some of the issues that some of us who are not involved with special education don't always understand. And I think possibly because of that being her avocation, her background is working with special ed kids, it meant she also was very calm and collected with the rest of us as well. So I'm going to miss having her. I wish she would have stayed on, but I want to thank her for her service. Larry, I've served on the board for quite a long time with Larry. Larry's a very principled person, and that shows in his passion for the job. Larry's very big on making sure that we're open and communicate with everybody, and that the public understands as much as possible what we're doing, which is a great thing to be an advocate for. He's worked tirelessly, not only on the board, but also outside the board. He's been involved in a lot of other things, the Spectrum group. He's also been involved heavily in the theater as well. So it's not just his board service, but also just service to outside of the board, to the school district and to the children. And I just want to thank him for all your years of service as well. That's my comments.
I also would like to thank Betsy. She was a calming influence on us all, I believe. And Larry, as a fellow Junction neighbor. It's been a real pleasure working with you in a different capacity. And on the board, I mean, you've been great with the financial workshops and the committees, and you're always there to lend an ear and give support to us new people on the board. So thank you, and you will be missed.
Okay. Well, I've already said my piece to the board members. And my congratulations again to all of our tenure recipients. It's fun when we see our tenure recipients because I always remember them on the night that we appointed them, right? So to watch them is a great thing.
You used to talk to the retirees that way too.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm sorry, I can't talk about the retirees.
Only you, Bill.
Maybe someday, but not at this point. Okay. Moving on. May I have a motion for the personnel agenda?
Motion to approve personnel agenda items A through M.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for the consent agenda?
Motion to approve the consent agenda items 12.2 through 12.13.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to the addendum.
Approve addendum to agreement with Dr. Barbara Walkley as on the agenda.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Appoint pre-kindergarten coordinator.
Motion to appoint pre-kindergarten coordinator as listed on the agenda.
Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Appoint staff for summer committee work.
Motion to appoint staff for summer committee work as listed on the agenda. Second.
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Q.
Motion to appoint staff for summer curriculum writing.
Second?
Comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. May I have a motion for executive session?
Motion to adjourn to executive session to review the employment history of a particular individual, and the board is not expected to take action after executive session.
Second?